And we used to, some of the troubles that we had there, you'd lie down on a blanket and there was nothing underneath. It was just lumps of rock as big as your hands, just lumps of them everywhere. You'd throw a blanket down and lie on top of it and drag your coat over you at night time. It got very cold.
Yeah.
And you had nothing else but maybe 2 blankets, if you know. And you'd freeze, absolutely freeze at night time. And then, of course, once the sun came up, you'd die from exhaust.
Yeah.
And there was not one blade of grass or a tree. I think there was 1 or 2 gum trees in Tobruk itself. But you're lying out there, and in a book I've got written by a German somewhere, he reckoned where they were just outside there, it got up to what was the old Celsius? Fahrenheit. It got up to 160 degrees.
Whoa,
and you were dying on absolute dead flat ground like that. You couldn't get, if you got any shade at all, you used to clamber in an old hut or something like that, an old truck, and it'd be smelling of oil and all the rest of it like this, you know, and that would be that. And then fleas, you got no idea of the fleas. The Italians, they all had dogs, and of course when they were captured, the dogs went with, but they left their fleas behind. And you'd be lying there with your equipment on. You couldn't take it off. You had your equipment, your bullets and your bayonet and everything on. And these fleas would be running riot underneath you.
Oh, no.
And there's a joke told about the fellow went on a sick parade, and he said, I can't sleep at night, sir. And the doctor said, what's the problem? He said, is it the fleas? He said, no. He said, it's the powder you gave me for the fleas to eat. He said, they're crunching it so much to keep me awake. You know, some of these. So that was that. And then the flies, you've got absolutely no idea what the flies were like. It was the same as at Gallipoli. Yeah. And our food consisted mainly of these army biscuits that were about as thick as your finger. And you had to put them in water and soak them for about 10 minutes or something before it even started to break up. Yes, you had that. And then the food we ate was bully beef, and it was bully beef stewed or bully beef raw, or else they got these cans of bacon, and whoever the British crowd that supplied them, they should have been shot for as traitors, because you'd get this great big roll of sow's belly, big rolls of fat, and if you looked hard enough, you got a piece of meat about the size of a 50-cent piece right in the centre, and that was the only part there was. And we were supposed to eat that. And if you were lucky, you'd get a half a tin of jam or a half a tin of syrup between 9 men. And your porridge consisted just of oatmeal done in sort of salt water. There's no milk, there's no sugar, there was nothing like that. And the whole time I was in Tobruk, the only fruit I ever had was an orange about the size, smaller than a cricket ball, or a bit larger than a golf ball. And the day we got that, I was so happy to get it. I got my knife out and I peeled half it, and I ate the peel. And then the next day, I ate the other peel off the other half. And the third day, I made a real pig of myself. I ate the lot. And that was the only fruit that I got the whole time I was in Tobruk. They did give us the ascorbic tablets, but we were absolutely, after a few months there, we were absolutely riddled with what we called wog sores. You just get a scratch and you festered. I was lucky, I didn't get much of that, but I had a stomach upset. I used to vomit as soon as food was put in front of me. I used to just bring the guts up if I had some, you know, the smell of it and everything like that, all this fatty stuff. If I did force myself to eat it, no sooner be down than up. And we all had diarrhoea the whole time, and believe me, there was no toilet rolls there.
No.
Yeah.
And there was very little paper. Anybody who had hold of a sheet of paper, he didn't let go of it. And I'll be quite rude and say nobody suffered from piles, because there was so much sand on our bum that every time you wiped it, you wiped practically all your bum away. And this was all this stuff that went on. One time they did give us a few lollies, and King Farouk of Egypt, he sent us up a supply of cigarettes each, and we reckoned he was a fifth columnist. He did it the cigarettes. They nearly killed us. They were terrible. But the Italians, they used to supply their men with these funny cigars. They were about a foot long, and they were twisted like one thing. You get no idea what they were like, and they were about 24 to a packet. And you'd see us sitting back with these great big cigars, puffing at them and bits of smoke. There was no mosquitoes there then, because they would have chased a lot of them. But yes, there was all that. And then we'll see what else there is here. Just as in passing, and so I was 17 when I joined the army in peacetime, you see, and when the war broke out 3 years afterwards, I joined up the RAF, and another thing was the glare from the sand. We had no glasses, we had no dark glass or anything like that, and you know you go down on the beaches without, and they blind you. Well, from the minute that sun got up in the morning, you could hardly see in front of you for the glare off the sand and the sun, you know. So that was that one there. It never rained the time we were there. It didn't rain for about 6 months, and we suffered from lack of sleep the whole time. And it's sentry duty. You'd go on, just supposing I went on sentry duty just as it was getting dark, 6 o'clock, but I'd be on there till 8. And then I'd go off duty till 12. I'd have 4 hours off, and then I'd go back up on again for another 2 hours. And then at dawn at 4 o'clock in the morning, everybody stood too. You got your rifle and bayonet, and you stood in case, because at the time there'd be attack if they're going to come on you at all, you see. And we suffered badly from the lack of sleep as well as that.